Hello everyone. This is the third lecture for topic 1, Introduction. Today let us see the preparation of cotton fabric for printing. The stages involved in preparation of cotton fabric for printing. So very first step is preparation of cotton fabric. Second step involved is preparation of the printing paste. Third stage is actual printing. Fourth one is drying of the prints. Fifth one is fixation of the prints. And at last, the sixth stage is washing and after treatments. So without these 6 stages, you cannot print or get the good quality of printed fabric. Because preparation of cotton fabric, preparation of printing paste, each and every stage is equally important in case of printing. Let us go one by one. Preparation of cotton fabric. Now I hope you people have visited many of the industries. There you might have seen so many treatments are given to the cotton fabric. Big machines are used for such pre-treatments. So this is one picture how the fabric is converted into RFD form. RFD is nothing but ready for dyeing or ready for printing form. So the steps involved in case of preparation of cotton fabric itself are various. Very first we need to carry out gray inspection of the fabric. So what is the role of gray inspection? In case of inspection, we carry out the fault analysis, whether the fabric is suitable for further process or how much rejection percentage may be there, dependent on the input quality that we can analyze in gray inspection department. So we carry out inspection randomly based on the number of faults. Type of faults we assign some points. You might have learned 4-point system, 10-point system, tag system in case of inspection. So dependent on the type of fault, particular points are assigned, and based on the number of points per linear yard, we can judge whether the fabric can be accepted or rejected. So after gray inspection, we carry out shearing and cropping process. If you remember, shearing and cropping is a process in which we remove long protruding threads from the fabric surface. After shearing and cropping, we go for the next process, that is singeing. So this is the general process flow chart. Initially we need to carry out singeing process, then texturizing, scouring, bleaching, mercerization. Mercerization is optional process which is dependent on the demand of customer. If he wants mercerized quality, we can carry out mercerization. Then after dyeing is again dependent on the style of printing, and then after batching of the fabric. So if the batching is not proper, in that case we may get some faulty print effects at the selvages. So let us go one by one. Singeing. So this is just revision. What exactly singeing is? In case of singeing, we remove the short protruding fibers from the fabric surface. There are 3 methods of singeing, like plate singeing, roller singeing and gas singeing. In industry, generally gas singeing method is opted. So here we can see the line diagram. The fabric is in trough. It is passing with the help of guide rollers, some sensors. So this is the singeing mechanism wherein the gas burner is there. We can adjust this flame height dependent on the fabric quality. Again, with the help of the guide rollers, the fabric passes. Now there are 2 or 4 points of singeing. Dependent on the make of machine and dependent on the quality, we can switch on the respective burners. After singeing, we can immediately carry out desizing. That gives us proper desizing efficiency, and then after the fabric can be stored. So it is dependent on the process house. After singeing, immediately if they put some desizing setup, that is giving us better efficiency of singeing as well desizing also. So here what is the significance of singeing? In first image you can observe the normal microscopic view of fabric. We can observe here short fibers which are protruding from the fabric surface. So because of these short fibers, there are chances that after printing or after coloration process, it may give some dull appearance to the fabric and the brightness of colors may get affected. So to have prominency of the colors, to get proper brightness of the shades, we need to remove the short protruding fibers. So in the second image you are observing the microscopic view of fabric. After singeing, we can find that more clear structure of yarn or interstices is there. So we can ensure proper penetration of the color paste, proper penetration of the chemicals. So here one question is, brightness of color will be observed on which type of fabric? Definitely the answer is singed fabric. Once singeing is over, the fabric is sent for desizing. So desizing is a process in which we remove the size coating from fabric, especially from the warp yarn surface. It is essential to remove the size coating because it is an added impurity which we add on the warp yarn during weaving to improve the weavability of the fabric. It will be consisting of adhesives, antistatic agents, some softeners, like that. Once the weaving is over, the size is not having any importance in case of pre-treatments. Since it is considered as an added impurity, it has to be removed efficiently. So also we want to improve the penetration of chemicals. If the added impurity is there, it will affect on penetration of chemicals, waters during wet processing. So we need to remove it efficiently. It can be done on jigger machine and other winch machine, like that. Depending on the process setup, it can be carried out with the help of acid, enzyme, or by using alkali. Generally enzyme method is opted in the industry. That's what you have studied in earlier year. After desizing, we carry out scouring process. So in case of scouring, we know that we remove the hydrophobic impurities from textile substrate. Now the cotton will be having natural hydrophobic impurities like waxes. If such waxes or some oils, spin oils are present on the natural or synthetic fibers, the pickup of water and chemicals will be improper by them. Penetration of these chemicals will be affected. So we need to remove these hydrophobic impurities so that hydrophilicity can be imparted to the substrate. By removing these hydrophobic impurities, basically we improve the absorbency of the substrate. It is said that generally if by water droplet method, if a water droplet is falling on the substrate and it gets absorbed within 3 seconds, then its absorbency is good. So it is said like that. So if the absorbency is more than 3 seconds, then we can carry out rescouring of that material. It will not be taken up for further processing. So it is recommended that the fabric absorbency should be within 3 seconds. After scouring, we go for the process that is bleaching. Now friends, you know that the grey fabric appearance is just somewhat yellowish or creamish color is there. If such creamish yellowish color is there, and on that just imagine if you want to apply some pastel lemon yellow color shade, baby pink shade, pista color shades, will it be possible? Definitely no. So if we want to apply such colors, such shades on the fabric, it should be initially converted into white. Then only the prominency of such pale shades will be there, and the brightness of each and every color will be there. Generally it is said that up to scouring, that is absorbent condition, the fabric is ready to be, it can be used. In case of some designs, like you have seen the military designs, camouflage design is printed in which combination of some olive color, navy blue color, black color is there, khaki color is there. So such colors already they are dull enough, means their appearance is not bright. So such colors can be printed at the on the scoured fabric itself. But if we want to apply pale shades, that too bright, lemon yellow, baby pink, pista color shades, sky blue shades, if we want to get such shades on the fabric, in that case the fabric is required to be converted into white enough form. So bleaching is a process by which we impart whiteness to the fabric by using some oxidizing or reducing agents. Generally we prefer oxidizing agents for cotton like hypochlorite, hydrogen peroxide. So this is also done on jigger machine, continuous bleaching range machine is also there. We impart whiteness to the fabric by bleaching. As I told, natural yellowish cream color of grey fabric which affects the prominence of specific color shades. The fabric can be half bleached or full bleached. If we carry out hypochlorite bleaching, we can say that it is half bleached because it doesn't give us permanent whiteness as well the desired whiteness, whereas hydrogen peroxide being strong oxidizing agent, it gets activated above 70 degrees Celsius. It gives us proper permanent white effect. So dependent on the combination of colors, we can select either half bleached fabric or full bleached fabric. Next process is mercerization. Mercerization is a process in which we give treatment to the cotton fabric with 18 to 25% caustic at room temperature for 45 to 55 seconds. So this is the dwell time for mercerization process. We know that in case of mercerization, initially the cotton fiber cross section is of kidney shape or bean shape. So it is getting converted into round enough form, circular form. So ultimately we increase the surface area of cotton fiber. So here you can see the various stages. Stage number 1, before mercerization it is shown. 2 to 5 is the swelling process. Because of alkaline condition, we carry out swelling of cotton. Number 6 is rinsing process after swelling. We need to remove the residual alkali from cotton. So rinsing with water several times is done. And at last, number 7 is the final state where we observe that cotton fiber has been converted into circular form. The cross section is converted into round enough form. So since this is increasing the surface area of cotton, it improves the reflection properties. So the luster of cotton fiber gets improved by mercerization process. Since this is optional process, like dependent on the demand of customer, we go for mercerization process. Definitely in case of mercerized and unmercerized fabric, we find that the appearance of colors will be different. So here is the example. If we carry out dyeing of the unmercerized fabric and mercerized fabric with specific percent shade, after dyeing we can observe that in case of mercerized fabric we get increased color depth of the same percent shade. So ultimately we can say that by carrying out mercerization we can minimize the dye consumption, whereas in case of unmercerized fabric it is appearing somewhat lighter. So same is the case with printing also. If you are carrying out printing on unmercerized fabric and mercerized fabric, definitely on the mercerized fabric we may have proper brightness of the prints as well improved color yield. So definitely mercerization helps us in improved color yield, bright appearance of the colors and overall good appearance of the fabric, since luster is also imparted. So it is value addition process, but it is optional, dependent on the want of customer we can carry out this process. Once mercerization is over, again dyeing can be done dependent on the color combination as well on the style of printing. So there can be want of the design that on somewhat light dyed ground the prints may appear, like here one image is shown on the pink or peach color ground floral design is printed. So in the same way we can carry out dyeing with this lighter shade, and on that we can carry out printing with the desired colors. Or else in case of discharge printing, generally the ground is initially dyed and on that we carry out printing with discharging agents. So dyeing is recommended in case of discharge style. Dyeing is generally done with easily dischargeable dyes, followed by printing using discharge paste. It may be white or color to get the desired print effects. So here it has been dyed with black dye initially, on that discharge paste has been printed and so is the effect. Once dyeing is over, followed by proper washing and after treatments, the fabric is converted into a batch. Now batching is also an essential process because the fabric meant for printing should be batched properly. It is recommended that the batching should be done properly with the help of guide rollers, with the help of some sensors equipped on the machine. Silvage to silvage wrapping of the layers should be there. The wrapping should be in such a way that any folds are not formed in the fabric, otherwise it will further give us more and more print faults. If the batching is not proper at the silvages or in between any folds are there, that will give us faulty print effect. If at silvages the layers are not wrapped silvage to silvage properly, there are chances that on the machine at one silvage we may have more color paste application, and at the second side of the width the silvage may remain unprinted. So silvage to silvage proper wrapping without any folds, it should be done during batching. Then only we can say that batching is proper and we can obtain prints without any faults. Second stage in case of printing the fabric is preparation of printing paste. Now preparation of the printing paste also is important because if the paste is not homogeneous we cannot have uniformity in color application. So here you are observing the image of color kitchen. Number of containers are there, one stirrer is there, one big stirrer is there, thickener paste is there in one big container. So we have to take desired quantity of dye and other chemicals. We have to add at last the thickener paste. Then after it will get stirred for particular time to get proper homogeneous print paste. So some steps are involved in that. We have to take initially the dye or coloring matter. Into that we have to add little quantity of wetting agent. So desired quantity of wetting agent can be added. Now the significance of wetting agent is it will reduce the surface tension of dye as well water as well other ingredients of the print paste. So wetting agent will help in proper solubilization of the dye, as well it will avoid lump formation or dye aggregate formation during paste preparation. Then after we have to add small amount of water. Now see, in case of dyeing we are using more quantity of water, but in printing we have to take very small amount of water. So earlier we have seen dye solution of comparatively high concentration. We are taking very small quantity of water. We are adding it to the dye powder along with wetting agent. So there are chances that while adding the water, lump formation or dye aggregates will get formed. We have to avoid it. In the small quantity of water only, we have to have proper pasting of the dye without any lump formation. So it has to be stirred continuously to get concentrated dye paste. We have to stir until we get proper mixing of the dye molecules. Next step is addition of other chemicals and auxiliaries one by one with continuous stirring. Now dependent on the dye, we have to choose the chemicals or auxiliaries. We have to take leveling agent, we have to add acids or alkali, we may have to add reducing agent, oxidizing agent, some defoaming agents, like that. So these chemicals will be added one after one, that too with continuous stirring, because proper mixing of each and everything is essential. Once all these things are added together, at last we have to add the thickener paste. So thickener paste has to be prepared separately. It may be 4%, 6%, 8% concentration of the thickener. So that particular paste we have to add in the printing paste. After addition of thickener paste, again we need to carry out continuous stirring for particular time to get proper homogeneous paste, because thickener, all the ingredients and dye, all these things should get mixed properly to get proper homogeneous print paste. Once the homogeneous print paste is obtained, the next step is filtration of the color paste through a mesh. To remove any foreign material or particles, if there are any, we need to remove that, because it will help us to avoid print faults during printing. It may again avoid cutting of the screens in between. Suppose if any metallic impurity is there in the print paste, that may cause damage to the screens. So this we can avoid the print faults also by removing the undissolved particles, foreign materials, metallic impurities, like that, by filtration or straining of the color paste through mesh. So this is how print paste is prepared. If the print paste is not homogeneous, again we may have the faults like color streaks, color dots on the fabric, dark color line effects at the printed portion, and because of screen cutting due to foreign particles, again that much fabric will be wastage. So we have to take utmost precautions while preparing the print paste. Now see here, this is how the mixing of dye and water will be done. So here you are observing that all of a sudden the dye does not get mixed. We can imagine the mechanism. If you are taking water and if you are mixing it to dye or some powder, then immediately it will not get dissolved or scattered everywhere, dispersed everywhere. It will get converted into lump form, and then after stirring will help in getting proper homogeneous mixture of that particular agency. So in case of dye also, this lump formation will be there, that we need to avoid. So with the help of wetting agent like urea, glycerin, we can avoid this lump formation, and this is how we can get the homogeneous paste of dye, concentrated dye paste in the small quantity of water. Next step is actual printing. Now we need to select the machine. It may be block printing, it may be table printing, it may be flatbed printing machine. We have to carry out actual printing by selecting proper method. So any method of printing can be opted, like you can take screens, we can take rotary screen printing, we can go for even inkjet, because the color preparation is essential. We can apply the color by using any method of printing. Next stage, fourth stage, is drying of the prints. This is one type of dryer used in the printing department. Now, why drying of prints is essential? Earlier we have seen that actual printing can be done by using any method. Suppose the fabric is printed by using block printing, table printing, rotary printing or flatbed printing machine. So in a shift, around 10,000 meter fabric can be printed by flatbed or rotary printing machine, dependent on the number of colors and speed of the machine. So that 10,000 meter fabric, if we store as it is in the wet form, what will happen? Yes, surely color staining will be there, cross staining will be there, back staining of the fabric also will be there. We cannot store the fabric as it is in wet condition, because all colors will go on mixing, because the fabric is stored in the folded form in the troughs. So importance of drying is to avoid staining of fabric after printing. For easy storage of printed fabric till fixation of the prints, we have to store the printed fabric as it is till the prints are fixed. Once the prints are fixed, the fabric can be washed out, to avoid mixing of colors at the boundaries of prints also. Staining will be there in case of color to color case, that is cross staining we can call, as well back staining also will be there. So this will again spoil the look of design. It will be again a rejection of fabric. So we have to carry out proper drying of the prints. The machines used in case of drying are horizontal or vertical drying range, which will be exactly placed after the printing station, or drying zones also will be there after printing station, which is coming as attachment to the printing machine. So here we can see this is the vertical drying range. So 8 cylindrical drying machine is there, 8 plus 8 total 4 plus 4 total 8 cylinders are there. So those are arranged in vertical manner. This is how the fabric will be running on the machine. So this is called as vertical drying range. In case of horizontal drying range, these cylinders can be in horizontal manner, or else a drying zone will be there and through which the fabric will be passing horizontally. So this is known as horizontal drying range or horizontal drying zone. This will come exactly as an attachment in front of printing station. Next stage in case of printing is fixation of the prints. After drying, the fabric can be stored for 1 day, 2 days as it is, but it has to be covered properly with polythene sheet, so that to avoid its exposure to the moisture from atmosphere. So once those are stored properly, it can be taken for fixation of the prints as and when you are starting the steaming machine. Generally these kind of steaming machines are there in industry, which will be nothing but a container again in which steam will be supplied, input and output will be there, or inlet and outlet will be there, through which the fabric will be sent inside. It will be in the loop forms. It will remain inside the steamer for particular time period, and because of the steam, the dye fiber reactions will be carried out. So here there are 3 methods of fixation basically. First is steaming, second one is dry heat baking, and third one is polymerizing. Steaming is generally carried out in case of dyes. So water soluble or insoluble dyes, in that case for cotton we carry out steaming at 102 to 105 degrees Celsius for specific duration. Now this duration is dependent on the type of dye. Now say we are taking direct dye. Direct dye has got higher affinity towards cotton. So to get leveled print effects, we have to carry out steaming in case of direct dye prints up to 1 hour. But in case of reactive dyes, the duration is very less, like up to 8 to 10 minutes, because reactive dyes fixation will occur as fast as. So the duration required in case of reactive dyes is 8 to 10 minutes. In case of wet dyes on cotton, the duration will be up to 30 minutes. In case of acid basic dyes for silk and wool, again the duration will vary from 30 to 45 minutes. Next process is dry heat baking, wherein we just pass the fabric through hot air. This is also carried out in case of dyes, for specific dyes again. So just passing the fabric through hot air, hot zones at 140 to 150 degrees Celsius. So to carry out instant fixation, we can opt for this method. This will be again a continuous method. In case of steaming, batch wise as well, continuous steaming machines are there. Polymerizing is the next process. This is especially carried out for pigment prints, wherein we are using pigments as coloring matter. So this is carried out on stentor at 135 to 150 degrees Celsius for 3 to 5 minutes. So basically polymerization of the binder film is carried out. Binder is an essential ingredient in case of pigment printing, which binds the pigment particles and gets cross-linked with the textile substrate. So it is nothing but a sandwiching mechanism. So sandwiching of the pigments will be carried out with the help of binder film that gets cross-linked with the textile substrate. So within the binder film, between the binder film and textile substrate, pigment particles are getting scrapped. Those get catched. Okay. So this is how we carry out polymerizing in case of pigments. The steaming mechanism also we will learn later in the theory, what happens or what is the general mechanism of print fixation, that will be taught to you later. So for timing, these three fixation methods must be known to you. The last stage in case of printing of fabric is washing and after treatments. So a washing range will be there in case of industry. Several compartments will be there in case of washing. Series of hot washes, cold washes, soaping will be there. So here one type of machine has been shown to you which is long enough. So there are several compartments shown here, and at last the fabric comes out in the wet form that can be dried later on the stander. Why washing is important? Because we need to remove the residual chemicals and exhausted thickener film from the fabric. Once steaming is over, what we say in case of dye bath, we say that the dye bath is exhausted. In case of printing, once the steaming is over, we say that the thickener film is exhausted. The print thickener film at printed portion is exhausted because the dye, everything has got transferred onto the fabric. The dye fiber reactions are carried out with the use of the chemicals added to the print paste. So the thickener film gets exhausted by the transfer of dye particles. So here we need to remove that exhausted thickener film because it is of not use again. It may provide some harsh feel if any residual thickener is remaining on the fabric. So we need to remove the exhausted thickener film. Again, The unused chemicals or residual chemicals like acid, oxidizing agent, reducing agents, whatever are added to the paste, those also we need to remove from the printed portion. And that's why washing is important. Washing should be done efficiently. If washing is not done properly, the fabric may have some harsh film. If the thickener film is not getting removed properly, if the chemicals are there on the fabric, that will again affect on the properties of fabric. After washing, we need to go for some after treatments. Not necessarily after washing. Dependent on the dye, the after treatments can be given first followed by washing. So this sequence may vary. Like in case of wet dye, we are carrying out printing with wet dye followed by the immersion of fabric in acidic oxidizing solution to convert the solubilized wet dye into its parent form. So the after treatment in case of wet printing is proper printing with alkaline reducing paste, drying, then after steaming, steam followed by after treatment with acidic oxidizing condition, then after it can be washed and soaping can be done. In case of reactives, initially after steaming we may go for washing to remove the hydrolyzed reactive dye, to remove the exhausted thickener film, followed by soaping with 2-GPL non-ionic soap at boiling condition. So this is how the after treatments are dependent on the type of dye which we have used for printing. So the after treatments are essential again for proper fixation of the dyes as well to improve the wash and wear fastness properties of the dyes. So wash and wear fastness properties means washing fastness, rubbing fastness, the perspiration fastness and rest of the fastness properties. Those can be improved with efficient washing and after treatments. So based on this, the stages of printing, some questions are asked frequently like state and explain various stages involved in printing of fabric. You need to explain all these 6 stages. Brief description should be there for each and every stage. State the importance of pre-treatments in fabric printing. We already have discussed importance of desaging, importance of singeing and all such things. So these can be asked. Print paste preparation is an important stage in printing. Justify the statement. Next is washing and after treatments play an important role in deciding print quality of the fabric. Explain. And the last is which faults may occur if drying of printed fabric is improper. So such questions can be asked. The weightage can vary. You can prepare your own notes based on this and you can submit it as assignment. In the next lecture, we will see the methods and styles of printing. Thank you.